Hello again. We continue our mobile people community day with a second talk that we have today. It's dedicated to AI tools for mobile developers. And our speaker today is Michał Szczepanik, solution architect, an expert in Android, and also PhD. Michał also is a trainer and conference speaker. For example, he recently presented his talks on Android DroidCon. You can watch them. All talks already available. Also, Michał is presenting talk about Java, Flutter, NFT. And Michał is a huge fan of Lego and half bike. If you would like to know what's the best set of Lego for Android developers, you can ask him. And Michal's area of interest is also quantum teleportation from the black hole, but I hope you will see it in a moment. So, Michał, how are you doing? Is it you or is it a generated video by AI?
No, it's me. The generated video is in the backstage. So yeah.
Yeah.
So generally, it's me in real this time.
Good
But
to see
only
you
this time.
in real video. Okay, please present your talk about AI tools for mobile developers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have the topic about AI tools for mobile developers, but let's start with this black hole and something easier. So we had the revolution around 10 years ago regarding the quantum physics. So the challenge which we faced there was that it was really big revolution, and we had the topic of time and space. So according to Einstein's theory of special relativity, we can see the difference between time and space a little bit different than we see it from our perspective. So the only difference is a minus somewhere. So it's not big change, but how we generally see the time and how we see the space is totally different different things for us. So to make it easier, let's go to the physics, and here is how we represent the space. On the other hand, if we represent the time, we have a little bit different way of presenting it. But the challenge which we can face here is this beautiful sea. So it's defined as something like light speed for us in theory, and we are not able to achieve this because it requires unlimited energy. But why we have the limit of the light speed? So if we take a look how the observers see us when we are moving, and this observer is also moving, when we increase the speed, something strange will happen with these two lines because they are going like that. So if we are moving faster, then we get a little bit bigger angle here. And at some moment, we may face the c speed. So we will get speed of light. And this is the limitation, because what may happen next? And this is the limitation of the physics, because command, they define something like that. But if we take a look at time and speed from the math perspective, we have a little bit different representation of it. So as you can see, we can now define something which not caused a minus in the below part, but allow us to count the time and space in the way that the angle will be bigger. And what we can achieve in this moment, based on theory, because we haven't proved this as an experiment, the observer perspective will be a little bit different. So he will see the time like we see a space now, and currently when we are moving a little bit slower, and a space like a time. So we will be able to move through time as we wish, but we will get some limitations in the space, which it's a little bit difficult to imagine. And this was the revolution. For sure, this may help us to teleportate from the black hole, but today's we have another revolution, which is the AI, which we try to understand and use mostly as the developers. So let's go to the topic of using AI for our daily basis work, and how we can use it to solve our tasks and challenges. So, as was mentioned, my name is Michał Szczepanik, and I create this presentation about AI tools, of course, with help of AI and my avatars. So, generally, we were able to together to create some kind of presentation, which I hope will be helpful for you. And let's start from the beginning, so from something easy to understand, but it's really important to know how to do the prompts right to use most of the tools. Everyone probably knows ChatGPT. It's a generative pre-trained transformer. So some kind of LLM, so large language model, which allow us to cooperate and get some answers based on some prompts. And to do the prompts right, we need to think about many things, because please generate me some email, it's not enough, or email about using of Azure for something. Sorry, it's still not enough for ChatGPT. And BART, same other tools also. So it's good to define a role. So act as a solution architect of IT cloud system, then define the context. You join the new project for some smart home solutions, IoT devices, blah, blah, blah. And the task, what we would like to achieve. So you need to invite other SAs to discuss usage of this Azure for this project. If we will ask something like that, only having a role, context, and task, we may face the answer, which will be, okay, some kind of invitations, which we can probably print, send via post or whatever. And the problem which we may face is that we haven't provided enough information. So, first challenge which we need to address is the fact that most of the AI tools are a little bit outdated. So they are using the knowledge from a year ago or something like that. And it's good to share, mostly in IT world, the latest news or latest comparisons, like article about our cloud features for IoT. Then define how we would like to see the output. The best, if we will provide example. For example, we have great email created by my colleagues, so maybe we'll do something similar. And of course, what we can also do is to describe what we would like to have. So we would like to have the email message, which shows, which should be informative, so we know what we would like to achieve, and we would like to see some cases, clear call to action for feedback or opinion, and additionally, you can add some constraints like we should remember that client would consider only Azure and Google solution. I don't know why they don't like AWS, but come on. And some evolution criteria, which can be something related to the project, like in this case, or something related to the audience which we would like to address. And having all of that, we should be able to get quite nice output. So we will get the email, we will see that there is some intro, info that we had some article, also list of many points which I removed to generally show you the structure, which highlights the each solution, and action request, of course. So nice structure of the email, which we theoretically can copy paste and use. Please remember that this is the artificial intelligence and it based on some probability. So each time when you prompt the same stuff, you may get different answers. And sometimes, let's say, not the first what you get is the best. So it's good to ask about different variants of the answer and then choose something which you would like to send on your own or mix them together. So the AI is not, let's say, silver bullet to solve everything. We need to think as a human and choose the right output. Regarding the let's say limitations of the AI which we have nowadays, we can go through something quite easy, like ask about current time and see some tricks which we can use with this message. So let's ask about the current date, and what do we see? We get the answer in unfortunately or fortunately human-friendly form. Today date is, and we get the date. But we will, come on, we would like to copy paste it or use via API. So all this today date is blah 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 is not needed. So we have first magic phrase which we can use: return only data and nothing more. Magically, everything disappear. This and nothing more is a clue here. But when we ask about date and time, we discover some problem that ChatGPT don't know the current time. Maybe because it's not implemented there, they cannot share it. Also, maybe the problem is that chat don't know my time zone, and this can be a problem. So if you would like to play with something which is quite actual, we need to provide the information to use it in further needs. So the goal which I would like to achieve is to get the date and time of some meeting. So please return me time, date and time for meeting based on information and message. So here we have words which we described here below, and return only data and nothing more. Then we get the date and, let's say, exact time for schedule of the meeting. Okay, it's quite nice time to meet, but if we send this message in the middle of the night, we will get the time in the middle of the night. So it can be a problem for her, for us, whatever. So we can always ask chat to limit the answers to something like here. And please also set the time to the nearest hour from the list. And we list the times which we prefer for the meetings. Maybe because based on our calendar or any other information which is, let's say, not shared with the chat in exact form, but we can provide, for example, a list of free slots which we have in the calendar. So as you can see, we have some limitations, and you may face a lot of them when you try to play with the ChatGPT, which can be confusing for you. And not only when you play with the ChatGPT, when you play with BART, you can have the same with Llama or whatever. There are some limitations, but we have also some useful phrases which we can use to address a lot of challenges. So I listed some of them. So the most common which I use on daily basis when I play with the AI chats. So act as, to define the role, and nothing more. I really like this because you can really limit to the data and get exactly what you like without all these beautiful phrases around it. Acknowledge with, and you define 3 dots or whatever. So there are situations when you need to share with the chat some informations which are, let's say, not easy to share in one message. So you would like to, for example, to copy paste a lot of articles and then ask chat to analyze it. Generally, it's better to describe the task at the beginning than mention, okay, I will share the articles in the next message, acknowledge each with some phrases. And then you paste the articles, you write the sentence, okay, this was the last, please analyze it according to the task. You can repeat the task. Why you should repeat it, I will describe on the next slide. And having that, you can quite easily play with the chat or with huge amount of data. Explain it to me like, so we define which person we should use, the first person or third person. So generally, if we are answering someone in the chat as a chatbot, it's better to use I. If you are writing some research paper, it's better to use third person form. Of course, you can format the answer, which we will see in a moment, like defining the format, and explain step by step. Another awesome phrase. Sometimes you write the prompt and you see that something is really not okay with it. So, with the prompt or with the answer, and you don't know why. Explain step by step generally cause that chat will start explaining you the way of its thinking. So the steps which were applied by the chat. It's awesome when you really would like to achieve something and you have something missing in the prompt, which generally causes that you sometimes get quite good answers, sometimes totally bad, and some of them you prefer to not see anymore. And ignore all or previous instructions. So if you would like to reset something or you would like to have something in history, but it's not needed for now. So you can also use these phrases to describe to the chat what to do. And all these phrases work in quite similar way for almost all chat-based AIs. And with ChatGPT, we have also a challenge, which we mostly see when we are using it via API, for example, from Make or other tools, Raincast AI. You name the tool which you prefer to play to automate your work. But the problem is the tokens. So the tokens is something which define the cost, which you will need to pay for, let's say, operation on this specific phrase. So we send the phrase, I want a pizza in English. We see that it's 4 tokens, 14 characters. If we choose the French, then we see that it's 7 and 21 characters. And but even if we take a look in details, we see that we burn more tokens. If we even take the 14 characters. If we take the Chinese, then we have more numbers of characters. And for Korean, it's a little bit crazy because we have not 4 times more, but come on, 24 from 4. It's crazy. So we may need to pay much more. And this is not only for the API purpose. When we have a chat, we have also limitations of the tokens. So to, let's say, not burn a lot of tokens and not, let's say, do a lot of operations. If you have really long chat, sometimes it's better to create the new one with the most important information which we need for now, because you totally don't know what exactly is in the brain of or short memory of the AI, because the tokens are also limited there. So if you play with the chat and some informations are quite important for you to take into account, it's sometimes good to remind them after a few messages, or present it from the different context. Then we will have this feature which generally calls that AI will learn, okay, this is important, I should consider it for each answer, so I will take this information first, and it will be not skipped. Also, how to play with the any kind of chat is also defined by tokens. So be aware that you have these kind of limitations. If you would like to learn more, it's quite nicely described in the documentation. But be aware that you should apply this knowledge also for the chat, not only for the API. And if you would like to play with the API, but you don't want to, let's say, send the request each time, we have something which we call a playground. So it's allow you to play with different values, different models, and define the ways how the message should be interpreted by the chat. And here, for if you are for even plus user of the ChatGPT, these require different budget, different credit card. Of course, if you start playing with it, you have some period, and I think 18 or something like that dollars to burn. And this is, let's say, good place to play with the concept of your system. So let's imagine that we have a task that we have countries, and we would like to get the list, or rather not list, the capital city of each of them. So it's described like here. So return the capital of countries listed by users, and we get the answer, which is, come on, in nice human-friendly form. But we would like to use it in the API in our application. We don't need this form, so okay, we can write the regex. We write the regex, we send the request, and we get answer in different form than that one, which can be a little bit problematic. So we need to modify regex. Then we get totally different stuff. Another refactoring of the request. Come on, it's not the way to go. So we can define that. Come on, give me this. Give me the same as a JSON, and we get a JSON, which is key a country, and value is the capital. Nice, but sometimes it's also strange to parse something like that. So let's ask chat to return it in the specific form and provide the example of the answer. Even if you remove the brackets which we have outside, which define that it should be array, then you will get as an answer 3 different JSONs in most of the cases, not always. So if you describe it exactly how you'd like to have it, or maybe even provide another another pair, then you should be sure that, okay, it will always provide me the data in this specific form. As you saw on the previous case, I used something like that to define the parameters. So some areas like message or whatever, the context. And this is the form which is recommended to by OpenAI in documentation to split the prompt to some parts, like here you have context, here you have summary, here you have something else. Of course, in the best if instruction is at on the top at the beginning, but sometimes you use a lot of keywords which you have here, like context, in the context of whatever, but you don't want to mean this context, but some different context. But in other case, you would like to consider the context which you have here. So you can first define, because you have long text or something which for human looks like bullet points. So we can define that summary starts here and here, or we can define the name in the brackets, like here, to be sure that when I put it in the text of the instruction, I mean really this context, not something else. Because let's say ChatGPT require for you to get the good prompts. Any AI require to get good prompts. It do not understand what you mean. For example, give me the address. Address of what? If I ask you to give me the address, expecting that some of you will send your home address, like street, building number, city, whatever. Some of you send your IP address. Some of you email. Some of you will send the address. So it really depends what we understand as the context. And Playground is the place which first allow you to check if your logic is written in the right way, and really help you to build the API in future. Remember that if you are not using the trial version, you need to integrate the credit card or some other payment method, and set the limits, because sometimes your funny playing with it may cost you a little bit. The standard limit is $120, but it's better to set something which is okay for you, and means that you don't want to burn more, mostly when you use this as an API, which based on some phrases, for example, from the users, and you are not sure about your parsing, etc. But here we discuss how we can play with the GPT and how we can use it. But let's think how we can use it in practice. For example, Sufficient has a feature which, based on the bug reporting, based on the CI/CD, can provide you the information that, come on, this is what happened, this is why something strange happened, this is why we have failed of the build. So nice feature to provide a message to your manager on the Friday evening where you are after work, what happened and why we cannot release today. So something like that is really not difficult to write, at least the basic thing like that. If there will be a lot of people interested in this kind of solution, we can maybe schedule some event when we will do some live prompting how to do something like that. And come on, we are developers, so we like code reviews. So let's do the code review. In ChatGPT, we can also use do the code review. Maybe not the best tool for that, but I would like to show you how it looks like. Also, it depends on the prompt. If you ask to please do me the code review of this code, and you paste the code, probably some shitty information will appear. This is the phrase which I used for the code from the for random class from the app which we have reviewing during the previous event. So as you can see, here we have the prompt, here we have some code, and as you can see, we have the answer, we get the pros of solutions. We have also area of improvements. As you can see, full screen goes for that. And we can even see that they suggest they suggest something which you can, let's say, copy paste as a code with the mentioned improvements. If you take a look in details, of course, it requires some modifications, but let's say it's a good open-minder for you when you do the code review. So if you don't share, let's say, really top secret code, maybe it's a way to go. But you have the top secret code and you would like to, or top secret informations, but you would like to use the AI. So we have Llama 2 from Meta, so the company which creates thread and usually ignore GDPR and all stuff like that, privacies in many cases like Facebook's, etc. But it's awesome for me because of this project. We have open source AI model which we can use. We can set up on Azure and use it without any issues. Let's go further. We have also code interpreter in the ChatGPT, which maybe sounds like something which will interpret my code. Oh, nice. No, it's something which was created to do creative work and help you to, for example, based on the data in Excel, find some threads or analyze them, present nice charts, etc. So all this stuff which project manager likes, you can do this, do it here. So puts the stuff from the Jira, do something with it, give it to the manager. They will be happy. If you are boring, you can also ask to create the GIF. So please animate that image, slide effect, provide us a GIF file, and we get, after few iterations of modifications of not working Python code by ChatGPT, we get the output which looks like that. Okay, it still requires some improvement, but it took 2 minutes to generate it without any knowledge how to do this from the code perspective. So I only prompt this thing. But we would like to create the application, and we would like to do the mobile app or web page for some prototyping or proof of concept. Here we have one of the tools which we can use for that. So Builder.io generate different ways of the view based on the prompts. Basic prompt, if you describe something in more details, you will get really awesome things. I really like this tool if I need something really fast to, for example, show the customer how something can looks like, or create a page for, I don't know, my new idea. And everything, of course, as a file which we can edit, and it's really a Figma solution. So using plugins, we can generate, for example, for example, the Jetpack Compose code and work with it. If we go further, everyone know Copilot, so really short about this nice tool. which speed up your work. You can get the code based on the comments. So describe what you need, or generally you start writing the code, and it provides you the whole possible solution. So you start writing about some retrofit stuff, and you get everything. Nice, but I really like it for testing purpose. It really speed up this piece of work. So no matter what you do, the tests are important, and with Copilot, you spend minutes on them, not hours. So it's awesome. Another tool, which right now is part of something bigger, but still under the name Cadota, is the tool which supports you regarding the code and how to write good code. I really like this tool, and I really recommend it to my students because it has a lot of, let's say, good practices which you miss when you start coding. So it was really, really helpful and can really improve the way how you code. And as is part of the tab 9, as you can see, we can also set our own instance of it. So we are not sharing the code outside of the company, which is quite important if we are thinking about privacy. And if you would like to play with something which is free, this tool is for sure for you. It supports, I don't know, really awesome number of languages. So Kotlin, Swift, probably also Dart, to be honest, haven't checked. And it can really help you to write the code much faster. So if you never play with the assistant, this is something which, in my opinion, works a little bit faster than solution from GitHub. So the Copilot, and it can be really, really, really useful. We have also tools similar to Cadota, which is deep code, and this is something which is dedicated to analyze your code from security perspective. So, for example, when your grandma entered your room to check if you clean up your room with white gloves, it's, let's say, quite similar way of checking your code. A lot of things can be discovered, and this is quite interesting, mostly for legacy code. Of course, we have Android Day, so in Android we can expect Studio Mode. So in Studio we will get the support of AI. Unfortunately or fortunately, it get the knowledge from recommended sources by Google. So based on previous presentation, we can see that it's not always the best. And of course, the documentation. So it can be good when you need to find some documentations or information about some API which you never used, or you need to you forgot how to do something. So it can be really, really useful. Unfortunately, right now is only available in Canary and version and in US. And as you can see, it generally provides you a lot of things, even can open documentation for you in specific places. So you don't need to Googling, you I don't know, GPT chatting. I don't know if we have this kind of names. Guys, as we are almost run out of the time, and we would like to have some your questions also. Please, in the comments below, share your ideas and habits which you have when you use AI for daily basis work. In the meantime, I can share some, and of course, review or takeaways. So remember that, okay, AI is something which will be rather part of our life. So we cannot say, no, I will be not using it. Try to use it on daily basis when it is possible. So in private life, if your pet project, if your main do not allow it because of the security reasons, use the right prompt. So learn how to prompt. Describe what you exactly would like to get from the AI. Use it as a partner. For sure, this is the most important thing, not as a final solution. So don't copy paste the output of the AI without reviewing it. And be aware what you share. Of course, if you would like to play or you need to find some nice tool, there is a page. There is an AI for that, which allow you to find the best solution for you. So, guys, let's review what you share. For me, thank you, and follow me, or rather follow us, because my AI here is reminding that it's not only my work. And let's discuss what we have.
Thank you, Michał. Your presentation has been both informative and very inspiring. It's very high topic today, AI tools. And yeah, thank you that you mentioned. And I forgot to mention, guys, if you have any questions related to AI tools or mobile in general, here we have Michał, solution architect at EPAM. He can ask anything you want, anything you need. We have both chats, chat available in YouTube, chat available on your VR community. I'll try to review all of this chat and ask Michał questions. And I've heard that someone asked about where was teleportation animation, but guys, it was before Michał joined the call. Yeah, and after this talk, we also together show how it works, how works this animation. So I have a question from my side. You mentioned many AI tools, and what's your preference? What do you like use the most from these tools?
Yeah, so generally, I really like to combine the AI in any kind of make scripts. So make is a tool which can automate a lot of stuff for you. So for example, you get some email about specific topic, and it can answer for this email without any needs from your side. So best regards for my students who usually get this kind of messages if they are asking if I have a place for the next thesis or whatever. So this is one of the places where I use the automation, and this usually, let's say, the main thing which I'm using is ChatGPT API for all the images which, or almost all images which we have in this presentation. I use Bing, maybe because I really like the way how it generates the images, and then they are a little bit more funny, and they still looks like something generated by AI, not something too much realistic. Let's name it like that, too perfect, which we can see from some other tools. So maybe this is the main reason why I like it.
By the way, do you use some AI tools for your, let's say, usual not working routine, daily routine? For example, prepare some list of goods for shopping mall, something like this.
I'm using some of them to plan my day. Regarding list of shopping, I'm using personally Alexa for that. So if I forgot something, it's a command, and the stuff is added to my list. But maybe one automation exists there when the list is empty. It's usually add the beer to the list. to not forget. So yeah, but let's say for scheduling my day, scheduling the stuff, or for example, these things which I present for the meetings is let's say part of a little bit bigger solution. It's a little bit more complex than this what I presented, but I was showing the idea what challenges we may face here.
Yeah. So as I see you will not lose your job because you're already very, let's say, you use AI a lot. You work probably as a prompt engineer already. But what do you think? What do you think about other specialists? Do you expect that AI replace and will take our jobs? Let's say usual developers, juniors.
Okay, for sure, if we will not consider how it can help us, it can be a problem, because the person who knows how to use the AI to speed up the work, to get the things faster, or get it as some open-minder, because sometimes you can stuck with the problem. This can be a risk, but if you follow the trends, etc., you should be able to work with it and still have a job, no matter if we are talking about, let's say, next week or next few years. Of course, there are some cases where an AI I see as a gold solution, like for example, AI for analyzing the law. Come on, in Poland, we need some specialist who will interpret what we should do according to the law.
It's not
Come
replaceable, yeah.
But
I know.
I do the small experiment. I try to I put the PDF with the law regarding the taxes. It was a challenge even for AI. So we are AI is not ready for our law, but probably it would be good solution for
Yeah, I
our case.
see. I believe it will be not soon. So we have questions in our chat. Let me show that we have today. Georgi Shalashvili, sorry for pronunciation, is asking, is there a chat GPT-like model that can run on Android without internet connection?
Let's say not something which we can say name like ChatGPT. Of course, we have some models which can solve some specific cases, and we can even use MLKit for many cases, or even the level how Google Zip the assistant is awesome as a model, AI model, but we don't have something, at least yet, which we can use without the internet connection. So if you would like to have the AI in your application, it's still better to have the internet connection, not something which you can run on device only. First, there is, let's say, not great solution like that. Another thing, in case of Android, we don't have a lot of high-end devices which have the AI chips, optimizations for that, etc., which we probably hear on the talk after our panel, how big challenges we may have when we try to integrate the AI-like solutions. So
Okay, yeah, let's discuss on the panel discussion that will be after this talk, and let's proceed with another question that we have in our chat. So Victor Krichetov is asking, thank you for the nice presentation. I have a small question. Do you expect a degradation of the developer knowledge level while using AI tools in the development? What do you think?
Depending, let's say, if you will not learn for AI, then and you will base only on this knowledge which is provided by AI, there is a risk rate like that. But having a Cadota in mind right now, I can say that AI is more like a tool which can help you to grow than something which generally cause that you will lose your knowledge. Come on, we have thousands of information on daily basis. We can sometimes forget something. So AI is, let's say, a good partner to help us. But if we will, let's say, stop learning, stop coding, and we will base only on AI for that purpose, we will lose really fast in this race. So depends on how you use it.
So, yeah, I think that's it for this talk. And in a few minutes, after a short break, we will continue discussing AI tools and how AI affects our work and mobile development with experts from different disciplines. And also Michal will join the sessions. And yeah, guys, don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel. All talks will be available in recordings later after a week. And don't hesitate to ask any questions related to mobile world, Android community. And yeah, see you in minutes.
So see you guys.